The film begins in Los Angeles inside an orphanage for bows. We see one of the bows, Donnie, fighting another bow. He manages to land strong punches to the bow's face while pinning him to the ground. We learn that Donnie loves boxing and inherited his passion for this sport from his father, Apollo Creed, who was a very powerful boxer. But his father, Creed, died in 1985. At this moment, the guards enter to break up the fight between them. They take the other bow and lock Donnie in a room. A woman named Mary visits him and tells him she is his father Creed's widow. Mary, of course, knows that Donnie's mother is dead, so she offers to adopt him and have him live with her. Donnie agrees because he feels she will be kind to him. Afterwards, Mary completes Donnie's adoption procedures from the institution and takes him home to live with her. 17 years pass, and we reach the year 2015. Donnie has grown up, and throughout all the past years, Mary cared for him and treated him exactly like her own son. We then go to Mexico, where we see matches based on bets placed by the audience on strong fighters. Donnie fights a match and manages to defeat his opponent by knockout. We learn that this is Donnie's 15th consecutive win in Mexico. He then returns and we learn he works as a corporate employee, but it is clear he dislikes his job, even though he was recently promoted. Donnie doesn't hate the job because of its nature. He hates any job, regardless of what it is, because his dream is to be a professional boxer like his father. This dream grows with him year after year. That's why Donnie hands in his resignation to his manager and then goes home to Mary. At night, Donnie turns on the TV to watch an old boxing match between his father, Creed, and Rocky. Rocky is known to have also been a powerful boxer like Creed, and they were very close friends. Their boxing levels were very similar. Donnie watches the match between them and tries to imitate his father's movements, boxing style, and speed, pretending he is the one fighting Rocky, not his father. After that, Donnie goes to a boxing training gym called Delphi. There he meets the trainer, Tony. Donnie asks Tony to train him well for professional boxing, but Tony doesn't want to train him because the professional boxing style Donnie used in Mexico is different from Tony's style. The type of boxing Donnie fought relied on challenges and baits, not to mention it is extremely dangerous. A fighter could often die at the hands of another from the severe beatings, just like what happened with Creed. Even though Creed was fighting an official match, he still died at the hands of Ivan. Furthermore, Tony describes Donnie's level as not being strong enough or ready to fight, and says he will never be like his father in style or power. So Donnie wants to fight a tough match in front of Tony to prove to him that he can be a strong, professional boxer. Donnie challenges the fighters in the gym, putting his car keys up as a bet on the match. One of the fighters agrees he is a strong fighter, but Donnie easily beats him right away. Donnie then asks the fighters again if anyone else wants to fight. A fighter steps up named Danny. Danny is a strong boxer, ranked in the Professional Boxing Federation as undefeated. Danny fights a match against Donnie, but unfortunately, Danny easily defeats Donnie. Right after the match, Danny takes Donnie's car keys, goes outside, gets in the car, and drives home. Donnie is upset because he lost the match and the car, even though he thought he could win easily. He goes home, where Mary sees him and learns he resigned from his corporate job. She is upset with him, but she gets even more upset when she sees the injuries on his face. Mary immediately deduces that he has returned to boxing and tells him he will end up like his father and die in the boxing ring. Donnie tells her he loves boxing and says goodbye, saying he will travel soon to Pennsylvania to meet Rocky, who was his father's friend. Donnie promises to call her when he settles there. Donnie travels to Pennsylvania and rents an apartment there to live in. Donnie knows Rocky has a restaurant because Rocky retired from boxing after the deaths of his wife, Adrian, and his friend, Creed. Donnie goes to the restaurant to meet him. Donnie reveals that he is his friend Creed's son and that he loves boxing just like his father. Donnie asks Rocky to train him because he wants to box professionally, but Rocky says he retired from the sport a long time ago and doesn't have time to train him. However, Rocky gives him the address of a nearby boxing gym run by a trainer named Pete. Rocky tells him to go to that gym and train there. Donnie thanks him and leaves. At home, Donnie watches an online ad for a boxing match. The match is supposed to be organized for a powerful boxer named Conlan, the heavyweight champion of the world. Late at night, while sleeping, Donnie is woken up by loud noise and music. He can't sleep and realizes the noise is coming from the apartment below him. Donnie goes down and knocks on the door of the apartment where the sound is coming from. A woman named Bianca opens the door. Bianca is an unknown singer who has a band and sings in a disco. He asks her to turn the band's volume down a bit because he is boxing training tomorrow morning and obviously can't sleep because of the noise. Bianca apologizes for the disturbance, promises to lower the music, and shuts the door in his face. Afterward, Bianca turns the volume up even louder. Annoyed, Donnie knocks on her door again, then goes back up to his apartment to try to sleep. The next day, in the morning, Donnie goes to the boxing gym Rocky recommended and meets the trainer, Pete. Donnie tells him he is a boxer and wants to train at the gym, mentioning Rocky sent him. Pete doesn't mind and tells him the gym membership is $20 a month, but stipulates that he will have to train alone and shouldn't expect Pete to train him, as most members there train by themselves. Donnie agrees to pay the membership and trains alone in the gym, especially since he has no other alternative. While walking at night, Donnie spots a disco and sees a picture of his neighbor, Bianca, hanging on the wall outside. Donnie realizes she works as a singer inside this disco. He goes in and stands among the crowd to listen to Bianca sing, and he is very impressed by her voice. The next day, at the boxing gym, Donnie sees a news report on TV saying that the day before Conlan's match with Danny, they were speaking at a press conference. Voices were raised, they insulted each other, and words turned into a brawl amidst the journalists, resulting in Danny's jaw being broken. Consequently, their scheduled official match organized by the International Federation was cancelled. Now, there must be a replacement to fight Conlan for his title as the #1 ranked fighter. This news catches Donnie's attention. He feels destiny is preparing an opportunity for him to fight Conlan himself and beat him to become world #1. But Donnie's problem is he needs intensive training to at least get close to Conlan's level of strength. Donnie then goes to Rocky's house and asks him again to train him, especially since Pete at the boxing gym won't train anyone. Rocky hesitates a bit at first but says he can give him theoretical training, but not practical training, as he has quit boxing for good. Rocky writes down a set of individual exercises for him to do on his own. These exercises will increase his hand speed and balance. Donnie thanks him and leaves. One night, Donnie knocks on Bianca's apartment door. Bianca opens it. Donnie wants to strike up a conversation with her because he liked her from the moment he saw her. He asks her out to dinner. Bianca agrees, goes in to get dressed, and goes with Donnie to the restaurant. They order food, eat, and chat. Bianca learns he loves boxing and wants to be a professional boxer like his father. Donnie learns that she loves singing and music because music makes her feel alive. Donnie wants to attend her concert because he loved her voice and music, and he wants to support her and stand by her. One day, while Donnie is at the boxing gym training, he is surprised to see Rocky there. Rocky came to the gym to train Donnie. Donnie is overjoyed that Rocky is finally going to train him. Rocky begins putting Donnie through grueling workouts, focusing on making Donnie's hands fast and mastering his body movements while fighting, so he can maintain his balance when hit by an opponent. We learn that Pete is jealous of Donnie because Pete had previously asked Rocky to train his son, but Rocky apologized and declined, and now Pete sees him training Donnie. Because of this, Pete suggests to Rocky that his son, Leo, fight Donnie. Pete wants his son Leo to win the match to prove to Donnie that his son is a strong boxer. But Rocky has a different opinion. They should postpone this match for a bit because Donnie isn't ready to fight yet. Also, Rocky understands Pete's motive for this match and knows he and Leo are jealous of Donnie. Later, while they are heading home, Donnie is still eager to fight. Rocky tells him he needs 6 weeks to train, after which his level will be good. Donnie tells him he will leave his apartment and come stay with him at his house to hold a training camp there. Rocky initially refuses because he doesn't want to host anyone, but Donnie imposes himself on him, leaning on their connection since Rocky was his father's friend, so Rocky is forced to agree. Afterward, they go to Donnie's house in Rocky's car so Donnie can pack his bags and things from the apartment and go stay with Rocky. After that, he goes to Rocky's house. Training begins the next day, and it's much harder than the previous training. He takes Donnie to a new boxing gym with professional trainers to help Rocky train Donnie. Indeed, the fighters in the gym are amazed by the speed, control, and power Donnie has achieved because his level is noticeably developing. Bianca spends most of her free time attending Donnie's training to encourage him, as they have fallen deeply in love. The day arrives for Donnie to fight Leo, Pete's son. The Professional Boxing Federation is organizing and supervising this match. Bianca is present to cheer for Donnie. The match begins, and initially, Donnie and Leo's levels are close. There is a real rivalry between them. The first round ends, and Leo is the one who wins it. Before the second round, Rocky gives Donnie instructions and reminds him of Leo's physical weak points so he can target and exploit them to his advantage. The second round begins, and Donnie manages to end both the round and the entire match with a knockout punch. Leo falls to the canvas. Donnie and Rocky rejoice because this is the first official match they have won. One day, Mary is watching TV and sees a sports report about the Lightning champion, describing Donnie as the successor to his father in the boxing rings. She is happy because this is the path he chose, but deep down, she is very worried about him. One day, a man named Tommy calls Rocky and asks to meet him along with Donnie. Tommy gives them an appointment at a restaurant, and they go to meet him. We learn that Tommy is the manager for the English boxer, Conlan. Tommy is very enthusiastic about setting up a challenge match between Donnie and Conlan. It would be an official match for the title of World Number 1, meaning the dream Donnie has had is coming true, and he will be able to fight for the number 1 ranking instead of Danny, because Danny's jaw was broken. Tommy tells them that this match will also be Conlan's last match before he retires. Tommy leaves them to think and get back to him. Donnie doesn't take long to think. He decides to accept the challenge and fight the match. They present their decision to Rocky. Rocky is excited but scared for him, especially since Conlan is taller than Donnie and will be more stable and commanding in the ring. But Rocky promises Donnie that they will train hard to get him ready. One day, while training, Rocky gets tired and is about to faint. Donnie immediately supports him and takes him to the hospital. At the hospital, they run tests on Rocky. Donnie wants Rocky to rest, but Rocky wants to continue training Donnie. Donnie insists that Rocky rests first. Not much time passes before Rocky is discharged from the hospital and returns to the training gym to continue training Donnie. However, one day, Rocky is shocked when he learns from the doctor treating him, the hospital, that the test results proved he has cancer. The doctor tries to reassure him, saying that with chemotherapy, he can improve and they might eliminate the cancer completely. But Rocky doesn't want to try chemotherapy, especially since his wife Adrian had cancer and suffered because of it, losing her hair, and yet she still died from it. Rocky takes the test results from the doctor, walks away, and leaves her. Rocky goes to the training gym and refuses to tell Donnie about his cancer diagnosis so as not to upset or discourage him. But by chance, Donnie notices the medical papers in Rocky's jacket pocket. He reads them and realizes Rocky has cancer and is hiding it from him. Donnie gets upset, angry, and confronts Rocky. Rocky asks him to focus on the match and not think about anything else, but Donnie tells him he really won't think about anything else until Rocky goes to get chemotherapy. Rocky refuses, gets agitated, and tells Donnie that chemotherapy did his wife no good. On the contrary, she died in a very bad state. He doesn't want to end up like her and prefers to wait for death over chemotherapy. Rocky reminds him that they aren't even relatives and that the only thing bringing them together is a boxing match and nothing more. Donnie is hurt by this, walks away, and leaves him. Later, Rocky feels bad about the words he said to Donnie, especially since Donnie considers him like an uncle and worries about him. Later, Donnie goes to a concert Bianca is performing with her band. There, Donnie gets into a fight with someone hitting on Bianca and beats him up badly. The police arrive and arrest Donnie for hitting the man. They lock him up in the police station. The news reaches Rocky, and he immediately goes to visit Donnie at the police station, apologizing for the hurtful words he said. Donnie lashes out at him, asking him to leave him alone, saying he never wants to know him again because they aren't relatives anyway. In doing so, Donnie hurts Rocky with the exact same words Rocky had used to hurt him. But Rocky, in his wisdom, knows that Donnie is just angry and that what he said definitely isn't from his heart. Before Rocky leaves the police station, he pays Donnie's bail. Donnie gets out of the police station and goes straight home. He apologizes for his behavior and begs Rocky to undergo chemotherapy to get rid of the cancer, while at the same time they can continue training, even if they have to train in the hospital. Rocky listens to him and is convinced. Indeed, Rocky starts taking chemotherapy, and at the same time, continues training Donnie until he is ready for the match against Conlan. Donnie and Rocky travel to England because the match is going to be there. Afterward, Bianca travels to England to be on Donnie's side during this time because he will definitely need her. The day of the match arrives, attended by a massive number of fans, mostly English supporters there to cheer for their countryman, Conlan, especially since it's his retirement match. Mary is at home to watch the match on TV. The match begins, and Conlan is eager to destroy Donnie's legend before it even starts. Conlan feels Donnie is a very strong and confident boxer, so he wants to crush his ego and win the match. Indeed, Conlan wins the first round. During the break, Donnie takes instructions from Rocky to focus on Conlan's weak points and exploit them. The second round begins, and at first, it's evenly matched between the two sides, but Donnie manages to win the second round, gaining some self-confidence. The third round then begins, but Conlan wins it even though Donnie was dominating it. They continue fighting through the rounds, and blood begins to cover the canvas from how much they've both been injured. However, in the penultimate round, Conlan manages to land a heavy blow on Donnie, knocking him to the ground. The referee starts counting Donnie out, and everyone thinks Donnie is done and won't be able to get up. But Donnie rises like a Black Panther, determined to finish the match despite his severe injuries. The final round is also evenly matched at first, until Donnie corners Conlan and hits him with a powerful blow that knocks him to the ground. Everyone thinks it's a knockout blow for Conlan, and they expect Conlan won't be able to get up again either. But in the last 10 seconds, Conlan gets up. The total points for all rounds favor Conlan, so Conlan wins by the numbers. But Donnie, despite his loss, is a winner because he carved a new name for himself in the boxing world with his own hands. He stood up to the world champion and embarrassed him in front of his own fans to the point that he was on the verge of beating him. Despite Donnie's defeat, Rocky, Bianca, and everyone else cheer for him. Even the massive crowd that came to cheer for Conlan in his retirement match starts chanting Donnie's name. Thus ends the first part of the film. The second part of the film begins in Ukraine, where we see the powerful, retired Russian boxer Ivan training his son, Victor. Before we continue, we move on to the Did You Know segment. Did you know, my friend, that over 80% of video viewers don't subscribe to the channel? Scientists haven't been able to explain this. I think the logical thing to do is subscribe to Cinema Swift so you don't miss movies like this. And let's get back to the movie. In boxing, Victor is turning out like his father because he is huge like him and boxes professionally. We learned that in Ukraine. He fights many matches on official ones, wins them all thanks to his massive size and the power of his punches. We also learned that when Ivan heard about the boxer Donnie, the rising American star in the boxing world, he decided right then to have Donnie fight in an official match watched by the whole world. Because Ivan, even though he defeated Creed years ago and killed him in the ring, still feels there is a score to settle between him and Creed. His wish is for Victor to take his revenge by challenging Donnie and beating him. The hatred Ivan has towards Creed has a justification, which we will learn about in the upcoming events. During one of Victor's matches, a man named Buddy, sitting in the audience watching Victor perform brilliantly. Buddy is an organizer of bouts and challenges between the strongest boxers in the world. By watching professionals around the world, he is able to select and choose fighters and have them challenge each other in official matches organized by the International Professional Boxing Federation. It is clear that Buddy was very impressed by Victor's boxing style. After the match, he meets Ivan and Victor. Buddy offers to organize a boxing match for Victor against any powerful global fighter of his choosing. Ivan immediately says he wants Victor to fight Adonis Creed and requests the match as soon as possible. The first thing Buddy does is travel to America to watch one of Adonis' matches live. When he is impressed by Adonis' fighting and style, he then approaches him with Victor's challenge. We go to America and see Donnie preparing himself to fight in a new championship where there will be a new ranking for him for the title of world #1 in boxing. This championship will be against the boxer Danny. Danny is the boxer who beat Donnie at the Delphi Boxing Gym in Los Angeles when Donnie was still training there, back when Danny beat him and took his car. The new match against Danny, which he is preparing for now, will be a challenge between them with a bet, and the bet will be the exact same car Danny won from Donnie. Bianca is, of course, with Donnie before the match to encourage him and be by his side. And Rocky is with them too. The time comes for the match between Donnie and Danny, attended by a huge number of Donnie's fans. Buddy has traveled from Ukraine to America and is present at this match to watch. The match begins, and it's roughly evenly matched between the two, but Donnie manages to hit Danny with a knockout punch that drops him to the canvas. The referee counts on Danny, but Danny can't get up due to the pain and injuries. The referee finishes the count, and Donnie wins, taking the title of world #1 in his weight class. At the same time, he wins back his car from Danny. After this match, Donnie wants to surprise Bianca and has bought her a ring to propose. Donnie shows her the ring and asks her to marry him. Bianca is overjoyed and agrees, and Donnie puts the ring on her finger. We return to Ukraine, and Buddy has returned to Ukraine, having seen Donnie in the match where he beat Danny. He tells them that Donnie is indeed a champion worthy of the challenge. Buddy is just as excited as they are to organize this challenge. We go back to Donnie and Bianca, who are sitting at home talking. Bianca suggests to Donnie that they travel to live in Los Angeles. She wants this so she can build a music studio in one of the large rooms there, and she is also thinking about seeking out big music production companies there. But Donnie tells her it's difficult for him to travel right now because he can't leave Rocky alone, especially since he is still in his treatment phase and needs him. But Bianca tries to convince him that Rocky has his own life, meaning they won't stay with him forever. Donnie considers her suggestion, but doesn't give her his answer right away. Meanwhile, Ivan travels to America with Victor and goes to Rocky's restaurant so Ivan can meet Rocky and talk to him about the match because he knows Rocky is the one who trains Donnie. Ivan makes Victor wait outside the restaurant while he goes in alone and meets Rocky. We learn that they actually know each other from a long time ago. Ivan gets straight to the point, asking Rocky to convince Donnie to challenge Victor, his son, in a global, official match, but Rocky refuses because he knows Ivan and Victor's intentions towards Donnie are not good, and he knows that this challenge stems from a motive of revenge. Here, we learn the justification for Ivan's revenge. He intends to take his revenge as well because long ago, after Creed's death in the match, Rocky decided to challenge him to avenge his dead friend. When they fought, Rocky defeated Ivan and humiliated him in front of his fans in Russia, and it was in the presence of the World Boxing Federation. This led the Russian Boxing Federation to strike Ivan's name as a boxer after Rocky managed to defeat him because they considered his loss an insult to the name of Russia. On top of that, Ivan's wife also left him at the time because of his failure. Ivan spent all these years living in poverty, barely finding work, and he continued to plant hatred inside Victor's heart from the time he was young. Of course, Rocky insists on refusing this match because he fears for Donnie against Victor. The hatred will make Victor fight Donnie brutally. At the same time, the TV broadcasts a video recorded by global media about a new boxing challenge. This challenge will be between Victor and Donnie, an official match for the world champion title in their weight class. By doing this, they've cornered Donnie and embarrassed him in front of the world. They see this news while watching TV at the restaurant where they are having dinner. Donnie starts thinking about accepting this challenge because he wants to avenge his father's death by beating Victor Drago, Ivan Drago's son. Back to the scene. After Ivan finishes talking with him, Victor enters the restaurant and takes his father, and they leave, fully confident that Donnie will accept the challenge because he will certainly want to avenge his father. One night, Donnie goes home and tells Rocky he is going to accept the challenge match against Victor. Rocky objects to his decision and reminds him that he is eager to fight Victor out of a motive for revenge, not to prove himself as a champion, explaining the difference between the two motives. Rocky doesn't want the malice and darkness of revenge inside Donnie's heart to control him. Rocky tells him a secret he had hidden from him. The match his father Creed fought years ago against Ivan, in which he died, was supposed to be fought by Rocky in the first place. Before that, Rocky had considered withdrawing from it because he felt Ivan was a malicious fighter who fought his opponent as if they were an enemy he had to beat to death. But at the time, Creed bravely begged him not to withdraw from the match with Ivan and asked him to let him fight him instead. That's exactly what happened. Creed fought Ivan then and died in the ring. Rocky doesn't want Donnie to repeat his father's tragedy from the past. Rocky assures him that Victor grew up and was raised on hatred, and that if he challenges him, Victor has nothing to lose if he loses against him because Victor isn't even globally ranked or known. Unlike Donnie, who if he loses to Victor, will lose his name, his title, and maybe other things too. And if Donnie wins, it won't matter much because beating Victor won't add anything to his legacy. But Donnie doesn't like Rocky's opinion and feels he's abandoning his training because he thinks Victor is stronger than him. Donnie is stubborn, insists on continuing without Rocky, gets angry with him, and leaves. Donnie goes home afterward, furious and upset with Rocky. He tells Bianca about the conversation they had. When Bianca learns Donnie is determined to fight Victor, she worries about him, feeling it will be a suicidal match with no purpose. She is upset with Rocky's advice that he shouldn't fight this match because they are both scared for Donnie out of love. But Donnie doesn't like her words either, so he goes into his room and leaves her. The next day, Donnie decides to travel to Los Angeles with Bianca, just as she requested. They go to Mary's to live in the house with her. One night, while they are sitting having dinner with Mary, Bianca finds out she is pregnant through a pregnancy test. Donnie is incredibly happy, and she is too. Afterward, Donnie sits with Mary alone and tells her he will accept the challenge Victor requested. Mary also gets upset with Donnie's decision and worries about him. Just like Bianca and Rocky, Mary immediately remembers his father in this moment, because his father's stubbornness is what caused his death. The next day, Donnie goes to the Delphi boxing gym, which was the first training gym Donnie trained at when he was still starting out. There, he meets the trainer Tony and asks him to train him because he accepted Victor's challenge and will fight him. Tony is hesitant because he knows Victor is very strong, massive, and has powerful hands, making a match with him suicidal. But Donnie insists, so Tony is forced to accept training him since it's his wish. Donnie begins extremely tough training under Tony's supervision. The day of the match arrives, and Bianca is of course present, but Rocky doesn't attend and decides to watch the match on TV. The match begins, and Victor's dominance and power over Donnie are clear. Round after round, Victor keeps winning, and Donnie is close to fainting. Tony advises Donnie to stop and withdraw because otherwise, he will die from the sheer number of injuries. But Donnie, as usual, is stubborn and decides to finish the match to his last breath. Unfortunately, Donnie can't take it anymore and falls to the canvas, unable to get up or even move, to the point that people think he died like his father. But Donnie is rescued and taken to the hospital for treatment. His injuries are severe. Bianca stays by his side in the hospital. We learn later that Victor isn't credited with winning this match. The International Federation considers null and void, meaning Donnie still retains the title. This is because the International Federation discovered that Victor wasn't registered with the Russian Boxing Federation in the first place. Rocky travels to Los Angeles and goes to visit Donnie in the hospital. When Donnie sees Rocky, he thinks he has come to gloat, and he is upset by his presence. Donnie is feeling heartbroken and feels Rocky is to blame for his condition. He blames him because he feels Rocky's abandonment and refusal to train him is part of the reason he ended up like this. Perhaps if Rocky had trained him, Donnie could have won. After that, Rocky says goodbye and leaves. Not long after, Donnie is discharged from the hospital. His condition has stabilized slightly, and he returns home with Bianca. Donnie then begins physical therapy to try and regain his form because the injuries he suffered in the ring were exactly like being in a car accident. We learn his ribs were broken, and he also suffered a torn stomach lining, ruining his stomach, not to mention the injuries to his face. Bianca is confident that Donnie can regain his health and strength again. One night, Donnie is sitting watching TV and sees a boxing match featuring Victor. After the match, Donnie hears the interviewer ask Victor if he will fight Donnie again after losing to him. He replies angrily, that he only lost on paper because he wasn't affiliated with the Russian Boxing Federation, so he wasn't qualified to take the international title from Donnie, despite what he did to him. Victor continues, telling the interviewer he is proud of himself because it's enough for him that Donnie almost died at his hands. Victor demands to fight Donnie in another match, an official challenge for the title of World Number 1, especially since Victor has submitted an application to join the Russian Boxing Federation. Donnie gets infuriated by Victor's words, so he turns off the TV to prevent malice from taking over him like last time. Because of this, Donnie begins thinking with his head, not his emotions and feelings. A period of time passes, and Donnie has healed and regained his health. He and Bianca are also expecting their first child. One day, Donnie goes to the boxing gym to meet Tony, but he refuses to go inside the gym. Tony comes outside to his car. Tony tells him the Boxing Federation is asking if Donnie isn't going to accept Victor's challenge and face him in an official match. He must quickly choose any other fighter to fight a match to retain the title, so the International Federation can continue the competition, and also so Donnie can defend his championship belt and his title. Tony asks Donnie to return to training. Donnie promises to return to training, but not today. Then Donnie walks away and leaves him. One day, Rocky receives a letter from Mary asking him to travel to them in Los Angeles to sit with Donnie for a bit, talk to him, and support him because he surely needs him during this difficult time. Rocky immediately travels to Los Angeles, goes to Mary's house, and meets Donnie there. They clear the air and reconcile. While they are talking, Mary receives a call rushing them to the hospital because Bianca is giving birth right then. Donnie immediately takes Rocky with him and goes to the hospital. At the hospital, Bianca gives birth to a very beautiful girl, and they decide to name her Amara. Everyone is incredibly happy with her. Bianca is later discharged from the hospital, and the three of them return home. After rational thinking from Donnie, not based on a motive for revenge like last time, he decides to accept the challenge and fight the match against Victor, which is supposed to be in Russia this time. Donnie announces his decision, and this time, they enthusiastically agree with his choice because they feel his decision this time stems from sporting competition, not driven by hatred. They call Buddy, the boxing challenge promoter, and tell him to organize the match against Victor in Russia. Rocky decides to take Donnie to the desert to train him there surrounded by nature. Tony is with them. Rocky also has Donnie spar with boxers who have massive, powerful bodies, like Victor. Meanwhile, in Russia, the Russian Boxing Federation, which has influence in the International Boxing Federation, steps in, making Victor ready to fight officially in the name of Russia. Victor also begins intensive training under the supervision of his father, Ivan. Donnie travels to Russia to fight. Donnie begins to feel pain, but he manages to resist, putting only one thing before his eyes, winning and keeping his title and ranking. He wants to clear his mind completely while fighting so he can focus well and beat Victor. The 10th round begins, and Victor continues to strike Donnie in the areas where he was injured until Donnie falls to the ring floor, bleeding from his mouth because of the blows he took to his stomach. But Donnie resists and gets up from the ground before the referee counts him out. Victor is shocked by what he sees, sensing that Donnie refuses to give up no matter what. Donnie has managed to control the motive of hatred that Ivan planted in Victor, replacing it with a much stronger motive, that he is simply fighting a strong boxer and wants to beat him to keep his title. This truly allows Donnie to knock Victor to the ground with a powerful blow. Ivan then sees the members of the Russian Boxing Challenge withdrawing from the stands and leaving because they see Victor is unable to get up and will lose. Ivan is furious because he sees history repeating itself in this scene. They are abandoning his son, and they will surely strike him from the Federation after the defeat, just like they did to him. But surprisingly, Victor gets up after the referee's count and starts hitting Donnie, and Donnie hits back. Each one of them is completely exhausted, but Donnie manages to corner Victor in the ring and pummel him everywhere, to the point that Ivan fears for his son. He asks the referee to end the match by his son's surrender. Indeed, Victor surrenders. Thus, Donnie defeats Victor, retaining his title and his belt. At the same time, he has gained something more important than everything else. He finally understands that if boxing is built on hatred, it becomes a street fight, and that true boxing must have morals, principles, and sportsmanship. The Russian crowd rejoices at Donnie's victory over Victor, even though he isn't their countryman, because they felt Donnie was fighting for the love of boxing, played with honor, resisted, and endured until he won, thereby earning the respect of the Russian fans. Afterwards, they return to America. Rocky decides to go visit his son, Robert, whom he hasn't seen in years. Rocky is overjoyed when he sees him, and even happier when he meets his grandson. Don't forget to tell us your opinion on this movie in the comments, and you can suggest movies and series for us to recap. Don't forget to subscribe and follow the Instagram page for more movie recaps.